Tonight, we are getting a first look inside an immigration shelter for children at Southwest Key Casa Padre in Brownsville. This comes after only certain members of the national media were invited for a tour on Wednesday. Good evening, I'm Nicole Hickel.
And I'm Chris Jacobs. This immigration facility has been in the spotlight recently after receiving several state violations for the conditions the children were living in. But now we're learning what changes were made and what it really looks like.
CBS 4's Stephen Seeley joins us now outside the center in Brownsville. And Stephen, you were able to talk to a New York Times reporter who was actually allowed inside that shelter.
Well, local media outlets here weren't made aware of the tour at the Southwest Key Casa Padre facility here in Brownsville. And whenever I tried to get access to the tour, I was denied. But nonetheless, we have a better understanding of the conditions that these migrant children are living in. And it's quite the contrary to the violations that Southwest Key was handed just a few weeks ago. Now, in this video that you're taking a look at is published by the Department of Human Services. And as you can see, the shelter is very well kept and clean, with multiple beds inside of each room, including a cot. Currently, the shelter holds 1,500 immigrant boys aged 10 to 17. Earlier this afternoon, I spoke with New York Times Houston Bureau Chief Manny Fernandez, who was on the tour, and he says that the facility has certain amenities that children can use to speak to their separated family members.
Different phone booths that they have throughout the shelter, and in these phone booths the kids in some phone booths can make calls to relatives in the US as well as in their home country, and then in other phone booths they have the phones only work as a direct line to child protection organizations.
Fernandez says that no red flags jumped out at him during the guided tour. He mentioned in his New York Times story that at least 13 deficiency citations have been filed against the Casa Padre facility. And during the Q&A session after the tour, reporters asked about the violations but didn't receive an answer. Fernandez told me that the staff repeatedly dodged questions on the zero tolerance and family separation policies. And we were told that there is another tour for next week for elected officials, but there are no other scheduled media tours for the Casa Padre facility. We don't have any other information on the elected officials tour, though. Live in Brownsville with complete Valley coverage, Stephen Seeley, CBS 4 Valley at 6.